Hey Megan. Hi Lisa. I was wondering if you had any advice on emotional blockages. I sometimes feel I suppress my emotions, not intentionally. I can feel the sadness, anger, lower vibration emotions accumulate, and I feel desperately want to cry, but I just can't. Do you have any advice on how to allow yourself to release emotions or allow them to always be free flowing? Thank you. I think I think of course I have stuff to say on the emotional stuff. So firstly, the ultimate freedom is who is looking at those emotions and who is experiencing that person. And it's that energetic movement back to that. But I do have advice on how to deal with emotions. I've formulated a little system which I should write down and put into a little booklet for people, but I'm a creative type and I tend not to be that organized. I need a very organized person to do all these things for me. Today I've been working on a children's book I've been writing, which is totally unpractical. It would be much better if I worked on these other things, but I love doing it, so it's so beautiful. It's all told from animal perspectives. It's so sweet, and from the first person of the animals. And at the moment I've got a wolf. The two main characters are a wolf and a cat. A wolf dog and a cat. The wolf dog is slightly based on Khaleesi, but it's a male. And a cat. So you got the wolf dog and the cat, and then you've got other characters in there as well. So they all like take a chapter telling the story from their perspective. You've got cows, elephant, bird. I forget all the other animals now. It's quite it's getting quite big. It's quite a big story. It's super beautiful, and it's all about this subject, but in a very magical way. And it's a lot about magic as well. But anyway, okay, away from that, emotional blockages. So I do have a system, and this system is really simple. So basically, you have to learn what the chakras are. So the chakras are super accurate. I have a different interpretation of the chakras, but only the bottom chakras. The two bottom chakras I have the other way around, which is more in line with what they say in Zen, in that the hara, the place of strength, is below the belly button. So I just have those two turned around. So first of all, you have to learn the chakras, and you'll kind of begin to realize that you feel in your body, you feel the emotions in the same place in which the chakras are taught. And you can do one of my meditations. There's videos on my website from my retreats that you can buy with these chakra meditations, or you can do one of my meditation classes which talk about the chakras. You can find that on my website, or you can just go and look it up online. So you have to learn where the chakras are, and so and you'll find that your emotions are in the same place. So when you've got heartache and you feel like you've lost love, or that you're not good enough, or you're not loved, or you don't fit in, you'll feel it in your heart. When you feel disempowered, feeling like you can't act, like you can't do something, you'll feel it in your solar plexus. When you feel fear and weak and ungrounded and not strong and all these types of feelings, you'll feel it in your lower belly. And sexuality and numbness, you'll feel in your base chakra. You'll feel in your throat, inability to express yourself, to express emotions. Not being heard, not being listened to. And in the positive, it feels like you can speak and you can be heard. In the positive, it feels like you are loved and you are accepted. And in the solar plexus, it feels like you can do something, you can make action, you can do things, and you are strong. In the below the belly button, in the positive, it feels like you are grounded, you are safe, you have strength. And in the base chakra, it feels like sexuality and love. And then here is the ability to imagine, the ability to see from other perspectives. So this is your third eye. The ability to see what is not here. And in its negative, it's compulsive overthinking. Here is connection to something higher. And negative, it's disbalance and feeling small. So those are the chakras. When I do the meditations, I lead you through it slowly, and I just get you to place your attention there for you to learn it. That's something that's not going to happen instantly, and I can't do it for you. That's something that you've got to do, knowing that you don't do anything, that it's a happening. And you've got to learn your emotional centers. And I assure you that they're similar in most humans. I work with a lot of people and they're super similar for everybody. Some people have different variations of them. The reason that it's important to know that is because you can't trust your mind. What your mind says isn't necessarily what you feel. What your mind thinks isn't necessarily what you feel deep down. And your body doesn't lie, but your mind does. So if you feel ashamed, your mind could be telling you how much you hate the person in front of you, but actually you feel ashamed. If you feel vulnerable, your mind could be telling you that the situation that you're in is the wrong place, you shouldn't be here, you should be somewhere else, and you imagine somewhere else, and in your heart you just feel vulnerable. So your body doesn't lie. Sometimes there is stuck emotions there, but that's what your body is feeling in that moment. And as you get more and more in tune with your body, you find that there is a natural flow, and the action is taken from the body, not from the mind. The mind is something you use to put information in, to learn information and to learn about new situations, but the body actually chooses. When you choose from the mind, it's intellectual, and it's not your natural flow. It's something you've been taught. Your natural flow is free, and it's something you can't control. You can't control what you want or feel or do. And it's something crazy as well. It's really crazy what you feel as opposed to what you think. When you, in your thinking mind, you think about things logically, and you want to control things to fit into safety and being liked and being loved, and it just doesn't work like that, life. So you need to learn what your body's saying, and that's an important process, is getting to know what it is your body's saying as opposed to what your mind's saying. As you begin to learn more what your body's saying, then it will become more clear where your mind and your body is out of balance, where your mind is bullshitting you and lying and telling you things that aren't true. Basically, yeah. I mean, I was going to say the mind lies a lot, but sometimes it doesn't. There is no ultimate truth, so the mind can never be true in what it's saying. Well, there's some relative truths. And once you've begun to learn where your feelings are and where you feel them in the body, then you can look at some stuck feelings, because sometimes feelings get stuck and it gets into a loop. Your feeling gets stuck, and then your mind produces a story with that feeling, and then that story encourages the feeling, and you get stuck in this loop. So the mind is producing thoughts, the feeling is getting evoked more and more and more, and it gets more and more activated, and then eventually it just feels like a lump, like a stuckness, and it feels uncomfortable. So what you do then is the personal awareness is mostly put into the thinking mind. So say if you're feeling lots of sadness, that can come, mostly sadness comes from the heart, but sometimes you feel it in the throat. But sometimes the feelings can be felt other places as well because of the line of the energy and the way it moves. But predominantly sadness is a feeling in the heart. So, I mean, I might be wrong. It might also be a sadness that appears in the throat, but you put the attention into the heart area, and then you begin to ask it questions. What does it want? What does that sadness want? What does that sadness not want? And you begin to explore it. When have you felt this sadness before? Did someone create this sadness? Like, was it an abandonment by someone? And you begin to explore what the feeling is. And you begin to take full responsibility for your feelings, that they're your feelings, and they're not a result of anyone else. They appear that way, but they're your feelings. So you begin to really own them and see that you feel things. And sometimes it lines up with what's happening external, and sometimes it doesn't. So it doesn't mean they're facts. And this will begin to open these areas, just getting to know what's happening. It's not an instantaneous process, but so it's not something you can just do now and get rid of the sadness. But bit by bit, it can have a profound effect on you. And it's something you've got to do, so you can't, like with non-duality, I kind of lead you guys through it. So I say non-duality, and it kind of gives you that experience, it reminds you, you resonate with it. But with the emotional stuff, I can't really do it for you. Sometimes I really guide people, so they book one-to-one sessions with me, or they come on retreat, or they call in online, and I really guide them into those feelings. But it's really bit by bit, you have to learn what your body's saying, learn what your body wants, and not be interacting with life solely through your mind. It's sort of dropping back into your body. And also accepting that your body's never going to just have positive feelings. Part of life is to have negative feelings. So like when something's scary, when a lion's chasing you, you're designed to have fear, otherwise you won't run away. When you feel anger, you're designed to feel anger, otherwise you won't express it. But the reason that they get stuck is because of this mind feeling loop, where you have a feeling, you're telling yourself a story, the feeling is getting more, and everything's becoming out of balance, and you're living predominantly in the mind area, and you just lock down. But it takes patience, and it takes a lot of sitting and going into the feelings, putting the attention, the personal awareness into the chakra points, asking questions, doing it again, being repetitively doing it. We often are looking for quick fixes in our society. It's like mobile phones, like throwing them away and getting a new one. And there's not really a quick fix to the emotional thing. But true freedom is who is looking at the emotions. But when the emotions are really intense, that's impossible to hear. The mind is just so active, the space all feels very condensed. Hope that helps, Megan.